They struck at dusk on Endor, mere hours after the second Death Star's explosion lit the sky. Celebration fires crackled among the towering trees. Ewoks danced and played flutes. Then came the shrieking. Han Solo, nibbling a half-chewed ration bar, jolted to attention. "Another Imperial scout party?" he growled, patting his holster. But these were no stormtroopers. From the dense undergrowth scuttled insectoid creatures, each the size of a man, chitin glinting in the moonlight. Leia Organa lifted her blaster, hair still half unraveled from Ewok braids. "Han, what?" She fired, cutting one bug down. More poured forth, mandibles clicking. Chewbacca roared in alarm, unleashing a bowcaster bolt that split another insect's thick exoskeleton. Luke Skywalker rushed over, igniting his green lightsaber. Its glow carved arcs through the forest shadows. "Everyone, form up!" he shouted. Weary rebel troops, still bandaged from the recent battle, scrambled behind thick trunks. Ewoks shrieked, climbing to safety in the treetop huts. The monstrous insects advanced in a chattering wave, their pinprick eyes reflecting flames. Just then, the roar of a dropship ripped through the canopy. It bore a strange insignia. An eagle over a globe, encircled by Mobile Infantry. The craft's door slammed open, disgorging heavily armored soldiers wielding rapid-fire rifles. A tall blonde sergeant hit the ground first, name badge reading Rico. He shouted, "Move! Bugs at 12 o'clock! Open fire!" Han ducked behind a fallen log, teeth bared. Never seen armor like that, or rifles that noisy. But the newcomers mowed down the charging insects, bullets sparking off chitin. Within minutes, the bugs broke off and vanished into the dark forest, leaving trampled ferns and scorched logs. The rebels stared, breathing hard. Leia lowered her weapon. "Who are you?" she demanded. Rico lifted his visor, scanning the stunned group. "Sergeant John D. Rico, Mobile Infantry, Federation Army." His tone hardened. "We were chasing these bugs through a wormhole. Didn't mean to bring them to your party." Just then, C-3PO steps forward, looking as if he was about to short-circuit. "Excuse me, but did you say wormhole? That suggests a multidimensional rupture in space-time, potentially quantum in nature. It's statistically improbable for such an event to open here without external manipulation," he said in a worrying tone. A rebel technician chimed in, saying that they have been tracking minor gravitational anomalies in the sector for weeks, that they thought it was leftover debris from the Death Star, but that actually now it might be something else. Leia's eyes narrowed. "You mean to tell me that this wasn't an accident?" Rico replied with a somber tone. "Maybe not. These things are smart, sometimes smarter than us." Han blew out a breath. "You see what they did to those Ewok huts? Night's ruined." Admiral Akbar, battered but dignified, stood up. "If you have knowledge of these creatures, we need it. The Empire's remnants are trouble enough. Now we face a new threat." Within days, Endor's forest clearing became a command post. Ewoks watched from treetop huts as Federation engineers and rebel techs set up scanners. Leia oversaw medical tents, tending wounded troops. Carl Jenkins, a telepathic specialist, explained the bug menace by the campfire. He mentioned brain bugs that orchestrate entire hives. Luke couldn't help but to ask in Jenkins' direction, "Your connection to those creatures, how do you know what they're thinking?" Jenkins, unfazed, stated, "Telepathy, engineered back home. I'm a Psi operator, trained to intercept bug thoughts. It's not mystical, just evolution. That's what we're dealing with." Jenkins said grimly, "They're relentless, driven by a hive mind." Luke, ever cautious, explained that he could feel something, dissonance. He went on to explain that he couldn't sense the dark side, but he could sense they were not natural either. He warned that they do not belong here, advising Jenkins to take care as walking down a path with gifts like his run parallel to a path of shadows. Han leaned in, stoking the flames. "Well, once we find them, we blast them. Simple enough." Rico shook his head. "We tried that in our galaxy. It's never that easy. But it's our only option." Soon, a battered Corellian corvette carried Luke, Leia, Han, Chewbacca, and Rico's squad to Sullust. The New Republic was convening an emergency council in Sorosub's headquarters. Thick clouds parted as the vessel descended toward glowing lava rivers. Mon Mothma stood at the head of a holotable crowded with grim-faced leaders. Holograms of the bugs flickered, razor limbs, barbed mandibles, wave after wave of chittering beasts. Officers muttered anxiously. "These creatures threaten our fragile peace," Mon Mothma declared. "We've just defeated the Empire's battle station. Now this? In the past 10 days, 3 Outer Rim probe droids have gone dark. No warning, just silence. We assumed faulty transmitters. Now, I wonder if those planets suffer the same fate as Endor nearly did." Admiral Akbar stepped in, stating that there were reports from merchant vessels that entire mining colonies were missing. He said that ignoring the signals was clearly a mistake. Rico's voice cut through the hush. "They overrun planets within days. Trust me, there's no parley. If they're here, we must strike before they spread." Admiral Akbar nodded. "Agreed. But where do we begin?" Luke stepped forward, eyes shadowed with concern. "The bugs attacked Endor quickly. Something's guiding them. We need to locate their main hive. If we don't, they'll establish colonies." Leia scanned star charts with Jenkins, who tapped a psychic scanner. "There's a residual psychic imprint coming from a desert world, hive activity, and something else, possibly tied to an ancient presence." Leia looked puzzled, stating that there were too many desert worlds to guess. She asked Jenkins what's so special about this one. Suddenly, Luke jolted alert. "Tatooine! Jabba the Hutt once held Imperial contracts. Rumors spoke of a weapons lab buried beneath his palace. If that was reactivated, it could have drawn the bugs like a beacon." The strike team arrived on Tatooine at dawn, battered ships settling on the Dune Sea. Sand whipped through the air as Federation dropships disgorged troopers. X-Wings and A-Wings cruised overhead, scanning for hive activity. Han, piloting the Millennium Falcon, weaved low over rocky canyons. "Back on Tatooine," he grumbled. "Just when I paid off my last docking fees." Sweat poured from the rebels and Federation soldiers as they trudged across sun-scorched dunes. They found the hive entrance at sunset, a jagged hole in a sandstone mesa, oozing slime. Bantha bones lay scattered, half devoured. Inside, the tunnels were humid and foul-smelling. Rico's squad took point, floodlights illuminating glistening walls. The deeper they descended, the louder the clacking echoed. The bugs attacked from the dark, claws raking armor plates. Gunfire lit the cramped corridors with a burst of orange. Luke's lightsaber sizzled through exoskeletons. Leia fired with deadly accuracy. Han yelped when a bug dropped from the ceiling. Chewbacca howled, blasting it to pieces. Rico lobbed grenades into a tight cluster, roars of detonation shaking dust from the walls. Jenkins pressed 2 fingers to his temple, wincing. "The brain bug is near. It's giving orders." They entered a large cavern thick with stench. Floodlights revealed the bloated brain bugs, quivering behind a swarm of warriors. Soldiers pushed forward under a barrage of claws and snapping mandibles. Rebel troopers manned heavy weapons, picking off stragglers. Leia ducked a slashing pincer, returning fire at point-blank range. Luke's saber carved through the front rake, his face set with grim resolve. "Now!" he shouted as he cleared a path to the grotesque brain bug. Rico hurled a plasma grenade that clung to the alien flesh before detonating in a blinding flash. The creature shrieked, sagged, and collapsed into steaming gore. The warrior bugs jerked in confusion, suddenly leaderless. They flailed, easily cut down in the final surge. Smoke hung in the air. Rebel medics rushed to tend the wounded. Luke watched lumps of dead insects litter the floor, relieved yet haunted by the carnage. Han coughed as acrid fumes wafted up. "Disgusting. Next time, somebody else can handle pest control." Rico exhaled, slumping against the cavern wall. "Brain bugs down. That means the hive is finished." Leia holstered her blaster, surveying the exhausted but victorious strike force. "This planet's safe now, but the cost was high." Jenkins lowered his gaze toward fallen comrades. "At least we stopped them from spreading." Tatooine's twin suns dipped below the horizon as the heroes emerged from the hive tunnels. Local settlers, glimpsing troopers in the distance, peered nervously from behind doors. Overhead, the Millennium Falcon and Federation dropships skimmed the cooling sands, returning from perimeter sweeps. A short while later, The group reconvened at a makeshift camp outside Mos Eisley. Mon Mothma's voice crackled over holocom. Senator Organa, Commissioner Skywalker, your report indicates victory. We salute you. Return to Solist for a formal debrief when you can. Rico set his helmet aside. You rebels fight well. I see why the Empire fell. Han couldn't resist a grin. We've had practice. Just watch out for the local bars. Luke gazed at the star-filled sky, senses still crackling with the Force. The brain bug is gone, but this was just a glimpse of how dangerous they are. I hope your people find a way home, or at least a stable future. Leia stood near, arms crossed, glancing between Federation and Rebel troopers. If you stay, we'll help you rebuild. The New Republic could learn from your experience. Rico exchanged a look with his squad. We'll see. For now, we'll mop up any stragglers. Don't want them cropping up on some unsuspecting planet. Luke nodded slowly, feeling the night's cool air stir the dunes. We all do what we must to defend our homes. Behind them, Chewbacca rummaged through supplies, barking a good-natured suggestion for a celebration in Mos Eisley. Han chuckled. You sure about that, pal? You remember last time we partied there? Chewie gave a dismissive growl, and Rico couldn't help a tired laugh. We'll take our chances. Couldn't be worse than a bug hive. Leia half smiled. Just don't let them put anything too strong in your drinks. Tatooine's got a reputation. And so, the twin suns slipped beneath the rocky horizon, the day's heat yielding to the promise of a well-earned respite. Federation troopers gathered near their dropships, engines humming in the twilight. Rebels and Ewoks, those who'd come to offer support, prepared to depart for the next call of duty. Though battered, they stood together, forging an alliance unlike any the galaxy had seen. Even now, scattered pockets of Imperials might rise in distant corners, and new threats could emerge. But tonight, on this desert world, peace was a reality, even if brief. Everyone knew the future of the New Republic was fragile, and the Federation's path home uncertain. Yet, they had proven that unity could overcome the deadliest of invaders. In that quiet moment, as the desert breeze swept across the dunes, all eyes turned skyward, watching the stars shimmer into view. For now, Tatooine was safe. The galaxy still held hope. Thank you for taking this journey with us, a glimpse into an alternate branch of Star Wars lore, where the Federation's bugs invaded only to meet the unbreakable spirit of the New Republic. If you enjoyed the adventure, be sure to subscribe for more epic crossovers and galactic stories. May the Force be with you, always. And as they say in the Mobile Infantry, would you like to know more? Then hit that subscribe button.